Hello all of you. In last video we have gone through namespaces. Today we will continue our topic with assembly, then metadata, and at last we will go through the just-in-time compiler. Let's see what is assembly. An assembly is the primary building block of a .NET framework applications. This line says that a primary building block એક બ્લોક છે આખું સેના માટેનું તો કે .NET framework applications માટે. It consists of DLL and executable, dynamic link library and executables. It contains the definition of types, versioning information for the type, metadata and so on. Assembly ની અંદર શું આપણે ડેટા હોઈ શકે તો કે type of definition, એમની versions and એની history, એનું metadata and so on. An assembly can be a single file or it may consist of multiple files. Assembly provides information to the CLR. Note down, assembly provides the information to the CLR which is required at the time of actual implementations of our project. And assemblies can be static assembly or dynamic assembly also. Static assemblies are stored in disk and in portable executable file. Please note down students, static assemblies are stored on disk in portable executable files. Static assemblies include informations like interfaces, classes, resources like bitmaps, JPEG files and other resource files. Here we can also create dynamic assemblies. Dynamic assemblies will run directly from memory. Means it is not saved to disk before the execution. Dynamic assembly is executed directly from the memory. We can save dynamic assemblies to disk after they have executed. Every assembly has its own assembly manifest file. Manifest file means the information related to our project is stored in the manifest file. This manifest file you will get to know in many of the programming languages. It stores all the basic information of the projects and many other important things. Now let's see there are how much types of assemblies supported in .NET. Two types of assemblies is supported in .NET and they are private and public. Let's see each of them. First of all, whenever we want to use an assembly in our application, we must add a reference to it. Once our assembly is referenced, all its properties, all its accessible types, methods and other members of its namespaces will be available to our application as if their code are part of our source file, same as namespaces. Now let's see what is private assembly. Private assembly, we need to copy separately in all applications folder where we want to use the functionality of that assembly. Whenever we have created a private assembly, we need to copy that private assembly folder in every applications folder wherever we want to access their functionality. Without copying, we cannot access private assembly features. We have one assembly and we copy into the bin folder of each application folder where we require its functionality. That is said to be a private assembly. Whenever we have one assembly which is private, that assembly we have to copy in our bin folder of the project, and then after we can use it easily. It simply means that it can be used within the application or a subdirectory of that application where we have copied and stored. આપણે આપણા પ્રોજેક્ટના બીન ફોલ્ડરની અંદર પ્રાઇવેટ એસેમ્બલીને કોપી કરીને મૂકવી પડે. જ્યારે આપણે પ્રાઇવેટ એસેમ્બલીનો એક્સેસ કરતા હોય અને જો એ આપણા બીન ફોલ્ડરની અંદર કોપીડ હોય તો એના દરેકે દરેક મેમ્બર્સ, એના દરેક ફીચર્સ, એના દરેક ટાઈપ્સ બધું આપણે એક્સેસ કરી શકીએ ઇઝીલી. Now let's see what is public assembly. A shared assembly is one that can be referenced by more than one application. This is opposite of the private assembly. Public assembly or the shared assembly is one that can be referenced by more than one application. We need to copy public assembly or shared assembly for using. We can directly use with its name. For this it must be created explicitly with a strong name. What does it say? Like private assembly, we do not need to copy the shared assembly for using its functionalities. We can directly use it by its name. But the name must be a strong name, because if we will keep common names, it will clash in further applications. So we have to give a strong name to the public or shared assembly. Shared assembly is also known as public assembly. And this is an important point. Public or shared assembly should be installed in GSC. What is GSC? That is Global Assembly Cache. We can keep in GSC, we can install in GSC our assembly with the use of GSC util command. Whenever we want to use public or shared assembly, first of all we have to give it the strong name to it. Then after we have to install in the GSC, that is Global Assembly Cache, and in that assembly folder we can install using the GSC util command. Now let's see what is metadata. Metadata stored within the assembly. We already have seen in the assembly that assembly file contains metadata information also. .NET records information about compiled classes as metadata. Whichever the classes we have compiled, its information is recorded by .NET in the form of metadata. Metadata is nothing but a simple binary information describing your program that is stored either in the CLR portable executable file or in memory. Metadata एक बाइनरी ઇન્ફોર્મેશન પ્રોવાઈડ કરે છે શેની? તો કે આપણા પ્રોગ્રામની, જે કાં તો CLR પોર્ટેબલ એક્ઝિક્યુટેબલ ફાઇલમાં સ્ટોર્ડ હશે અને કાં મેમરીમાં. Thus, we can say that metadata means data about data. કોઈ પણ એક ડેટા છે આપણી પાસે, એનો પણ જે બીજો ડિટેલ્સ હોય, બીજી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન હોય, એ બધો ડેટા આમાં સ્ટોર થાય, એટલે એને ડેટા અબાઉટ ડેટા કહેવામાં આવે છે. A .NET language compiler will generate the metadata and store this in the assembly. .NET language compiler will generate metadata and will store it in the assembly. Where metadata helps components to interact seamlessly. That means flawlessly we can interact with the other components using metadata. The header section of every .NET Portable executable file. .NET PE file means .NET Portable executable file. Its header section file contains a special new section for the metadata. In simple words, metadata is nothing but a description of every namespace, class, method, property, and so on, which is contained within the PE file, that is Portable executable file. The CLR uses this metadata for locating classes, loading classes, generate native code, that is executable code, provide security. Metadata provides security. These are the 4 things why we have to use metadata, or why we use metadata. Now let's see what is JIT, that is just in time compiler. JIT stands for just in time. JIT is a smart compiler. A language specific compiler converts the source code, that is our program code, into the intermediate language. This intermediate language is then converted into the machine code, machine understandable code, by using the JIT compiler, that is just in time compiler. JIT is a part of CLR. JIT is a part of CLR. If you have gone through the previous video of CLR, you will be very much clear when the JIT comes into existence. I have explained you in the CLR video using the diagram. The JIT compiler is required to speed up the code execution. JIT compiler એ શું કરે છે તો કે આપણો જ્યારે સોર્સ કોડ આપણે રન કરીએ ત્યારે એ સોર્સ કોડને પહેલા વહેલા ઇન્ટરમીડિયેટ લેંગ્વેજ કોડમાં કન્વર્ટ કરે અને ત્યારબાદ ઇન્ટરમીડિયેટ લેંગ્વેજ કોડને મશીન કોડમાં કન્વર્ટ કરે. હવે JIT કમ્પાઇલર આપણો જે કન્વર્ટેડ કોડ છે એ એક જગ્યાએ સ્ટોર કરી રાખશે એઝ અ ફાઇલ ઇન ધ મેમરી. પછી જ્યારે આપણે આપણા પ્રોગ્રામ કોડમાં કોઈ નવો કોડ મૂકશું અથવા નવી ફંક્શનાલિટી કે નવું ફીચર મૂકશું ત્યારે એ આપણો આખો કોડ રીરન કરવા નહીં જાય. મતલબ કે આપણો આખો સોર્સ કોડને પાછો ઇન્ટરમીડિયેટ લેંગ્વેજમાં કન્વર્ટ કરવા નહીં જાય. માત્ર આપણે જેટલું નવું એડ કરેલું છે એટલું જ એ ઇન્ટરમીડિયેટ લેંગ્વેજમાં કન્વર્ટ કરશે. બાકીની બધી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન એ જૂનું આપણે જ્યારે કમ્પાઇલ કર્યું હોય ફર્સ્ટ ટાઈમ એમાંથી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન કલેક્ટ કરી લેશે. Thus, JIT compiler is required to speed up the code execution. There are 3 types of JIT compiler: pre-JIT, normal JIT and econo JIT. Now let's see each of them. Pre-JIT. All the source code is compiled into the machine code at the same time in a single compilation cycle using the pre-JIT compiler. This compilation process is performed at application deployment time. What does this pre-JIT means? જ્યારે આપણે ડિપ્લોયમેન્ટ કરતા હશું આપણા એપ્લિકેશનનું ત્યારે કમ્પાઇલેશન પ્રોસેસ પરફોર્મ કરશે અને એ એક જ વારમાં એક જ કમ્પાઇલેશન સાયકલમાં આખો કોડને મશીન કોડમાં કન્વર્ટ કરી નાખશે. Now let's see normal JIT. The source code methods that are required at runtime are compiled into machine code. The first time they are called by the normal JIT compiler. After that, they are stored in the cache and used whenever they are called again. મેં તમને જ્યારે જીટ એક્સપ્લેન કરતી હતી ત્યારે તમને જે કીધું ને એ નોર્મલ જીટનું વર્ક છે. એકવાર એ કમ્પાઇલ કરશે પછી એ બધી ઇન્ફોર્મેશન કેશ મેમરીમાં સ્ટોર કરશે અને જ્યારે આપણે ફરી વખતથી એને રન કરાવશું આપણા સોર્સ કોડને ત્યારે એ કેશ મેમરીમાંથી રીરન કરશે. That is the work of normal JIT. And the last is EconoJIT. The source code methods that are required at runtime are compiled into machine code by the EconoJIT compiler. After these methods are not required anymore and they are removed. Means એકવાર આપણે જ્યારે કોડને રન કરી દીધો છે પછી બધી મેથડ જે સ્ટોર થઈ ગઈ છે એની કોઈ રિક્વાયરમેન્ટ નહીં રહે, એટલે એ કેશ મેમરીમાં સ્ટોર રાખશે અને બાકી એક્સ્ટ્રા ઇન્ફોર્મેશન બધી રિમૂવ કરી નાખશે. That is EconoJIT. Hope you will get to understand each of the three topics, that is assembly, metadata and the just-in-time compiler. Thank you. We will meet soon in the next video.